1200 Smith in it's Washington and
Decatur, west of Decatur.
in Jones, yeah.
Between
And
Decatur and Jones, yes.
the day, let's see, we bought that property. We were only there 14 months because we got the creeps, and I had to get out. But yeah, I would say it was 1989. And it was the summer. It was very hot. Amy, my daughter, was floating on her back, and she was unable to speak. And all she could do was point to the sky. And when I looked up there, there was a white disc, very low. I would estimate it no more than 300 feet off the ground. And it was turning, and yet it was wobbling at the same time. There was kind of a light around the outside. It was saucer shaped, big, and it was there quite a while. And then we were both not able to talk. And she got out of the pool, and it took off, and it went tilted sideways, and off it went north.
Wow.
So he's the one that has always wanted to see a flying saucer. I never asked for that.
I always thought I would like to see one, but
Well, I wish you'd been there. So we called him at work. He called the Air Force Base. He called the local paper.
the TV stations.
He called this TV station. Nobody else reported this. Middle of the afternoon, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a summer day.
Wow. And this was in 1989?
1989.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we moved out in 1990. We built a home.
I don't remember
And moved.
what month for sure, but
It was hot because Amy was out in the pool.
Yeah, it was had to be July.
And you
or
weren't home
August.
from work, and you usually got home like 4 o'clock, so it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
How old was Amy again?
She was, oh my gosh, 21?
So she remembers this story as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we both of us, she lived with us, creepy feelings. I mean, we always felt like there was things watching, and we just had the creepiest feelings. So
For a long time, they didn't want to talk about it even.
no, we didn't even talk about it. Well, we did, but not much. We didn't want to remember it. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, well, just kind of reliving a memory.
What's that?
Does UFO ring a bell?
Oh, God. Yes, why?
Well, our realtor, say hi to Gina.
Hi.
Hi, Amy. So I have a
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a UFO group on Nextdoor, and it's got about 700 members. And
Oh, Lord.
I know it just happened to we just happened to come into conversation. Your mom was telling us about your experience, but we definitely I hope it's okay, but I'm recording this conversation so you guys can
Okay.
tell your story to everybody.
Okay.
Tell it, Ames.
Okay.
What do
Oh,
you
my gosh.
What do you
Okay.
remember?
Well, I remember all of it. So I was just floating around on the floaty in the pool. It was like a perfect day. Nope, not a single cloud in the sky. And I don't know. It's probably like, I don't know, noon or 1, so just right in the heat of the day. And Mom was inside, and I looked up, and this thing that made no sound was like hovering over the pool and me, and I could not talk, and I just kind of kept pointing like, oh, 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 and then my mom came out running, and she was like, what's the matter? And I still couldn't talk. It had no reflection. It just no mirrors, nothing, just a white color, but it was round, but it wasn't like a typical round. I couldn't tell if it had a dome and things like that on it. But then as soon as Mom came out, then it was gone.
Wow.
Do you remember it taking off, Ames?
Yeah. It took off and like no sound. Again, no sound, no light, no reflection, nothing.
Remember lights.
Wow, it's so wild.
Yeah.
Middle of Las Vegas.
And this is 1989, she said.
Do you know the
Yeah.
year? It would have been 89, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was a lifeguard out in Wet Wild at that time. And so
Right.
it had to have been the summer of 88 or the summer of 89.
We moved right after that. We were only there on Smith Street for like, was it
I
14
think
months?
89 because
And we built the new home at
Yeah.
Desert Shores
we
in
lived in
90.
2 apartments before we.
Yeah, so it had to have been the summer of 89. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Amy. The group is gonna eat it up. They're gonna love this.
Yeah, it was definitely like I couldn't talk because I was kind of very scared and very like, you definitely felt the presence of something, and
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
tell too many people because it makes me feel so weird. But it's definitely something else out there I've never seen. I've never seen a replica on movie sets. I've never seen a replica like, you know, what the government shows you. Nellis Air Force bases out there. I have friends that are in the Air Force, and not necessarily in Nellis, but they've never, like the ones I've talked to, very few I've talked to, they're like, no, we have nothing like that we've ever seen. So it was definitely something I hope I don't see again.
Wow.
Well, tell Gina how you felt like being alone in the house after that.
Yeah, I didn't like that house. I had bad vibes. I couldn't stay in the house at all. And
Alone.
I
couldn't either.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was. I didn't know if it was the neighbors or if it was I felt like I was being watched all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the same thing I felt. But we didn't really talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't, did we, Ames? We never really
No,
talked until we moved.
My stepdad, Don, he was all excited and was calling
Yeah.
like places and like, did anybody see anything today?
Because he's the one that always
I
wanted
was
to
like,
see.
okay, please don't bring any more attention to me. But yeah, it was really definitely something out there. So.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love this story. Oh, my God. I
So-
know it's hard for you guys, but this is really cool.
It's
I
stuff
mean,
that happens.
yeah.
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 All right.
Well,
Well,
thank you thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
we'll call you in a little while.
Bye, Amy.
All right.
All right, honey.
Oh, you should take John.
Well, thank you guys so much for telling us your story.
You're welcome.